Well, I'm Sandee and I came to the Minneapolis area a year after my husband passed away, November 17th of 2010. I needed to stay in Oklahoma. We had lived there 25 years, and I needed to stay there a year. I had a place I was trying to either get somebody in to rent or sell it. It was a country place, and just needed to stay. I did get it rented out. Then later I found out that I was supposed to stay at least a year, and I stayed 11 months. And because if I would have left, I might have ran away from some of the grieving process that I went through. Larry and I had been married 6 weeks short of 50 years. We dated a couple of years, and we had a good life. We had 4 daughters and have 7 grandkids. There isn't probably a day that I don't think about him. Sometimes it's during the night, sometimes it's just, instances that come up during the day. And he did fight cancer for 10 years. And so it was hard to let him go. And yet that morning when he passed away, I did tell him that I would let him go if he needed to. And he'd been in bed about 10 days. And he was always outside messing with horses or something in the yard. And he loved people, so he was always visiting someone, and people were coming over. And part of probably my healing of the grieving was to look to God. I just had to. We had DirecTV, I shut that off, so I never turned the TV on after January 2010, after January 2011 until October 15th when I moved, and I was studying Daniel, and it really gave me a lot of hope. And for the, just a peace, I guess, a peace of mind. My husband was a horseman. He was a horse trader. He ran chariot races at the fair, the local county fair, with about 5 other guys. They were just amateurs, but they did it for entertainment. And as I was reading and studying in the Bible from probably January till May, this was that Daniel study, and I was just amazed how many times I saw the word chariot in the Bible. And I was going, oh, what are you doing up there? So, that was one of the things, just reminded me of who he was, and he had a deep faith, and he drew a lot of people to our home. We had a Bible study in our home. At one time, he was the leader. He was driving semi then, and he was the leader, and he'd take the lesson from the pastor, and then it was like a care group, they called it. And we got so that we only had standing room in our house. But we don't always miss him. Miss him in my heart. But life is busy. Now I'm working, but as of November 17th, tomorrow, it'll be the 2nd year without him. Yeah. Something that happened, about 3 months ago, I relocated a teacher that had been really good to me. I got married really young. We got married young. And I kind of beat myself up for getting married that young for a while. Just not saying anything to anybody else. Just thought, thought I'd lost out on something or that. And anyway, then I talked to this teacher and his wife, and they were school teachers at the time. I was in high school, and it came to me as I was driving down the street about a half an hour after I visited with him on the phone. It was like, if I wouldn't have married Larry young, he died at 66, 3 weeks after he was 66, I would have not gotten to spend that much time with him, and it was just like God just took and pulled some of that guilt that I felt, and just that remorse for getting married so young, and it just set me free. And I was so thankful even just for that, And it's kind of like, I think when you learn to give thanks when you're really, under the gun or pressed down with burdens and maybe family problems or whatever. If you can just turn that into that you're going to thank God no matter what, it's kind of like, I don't know, it opens the door for Him to step into your situation and do what He can do best. The healing, the restoration, forgiveness. And how many of us don't need to forgive?